Hello everybody, we're back here on the Carrick site, back in January again for our second ever winter programme. So we're very excited to be back, great bunch of students and everyone's tearing through work. We started last week, but most of last week was tours and orientation, so we only had about 3 or 4 days digging in total, but already we're turning up lots of new information to contribute to what the previous 2 seasons here got. So we'll run through some of it briefly. We're back in cutting 1 where we knew we had a structure, but we've concentrated in the first 3 or 4 days on exposing more of the walls so we understand their form, understand how they fit together, understand how they were constructed, and understand what was on the interior of them, what's within the structure that these walls enclose. So our first wall, this is on the northern side of the cutting, so north is over this way, up towards Enniscorthy. We've widened the cutting to its northern extent and exposed the full extent of the wall. So we can see it's a metre 20 odd wide. We have a good idea of how it was built, and we have it coming back across the cutting, back across approximately as far as here. But from this point onward, it appears that in the 18th and 19th centuries that the wall in its entirety was quarried out and to provide the buildings, or I should say the building supplies or building materials that went into structures like Belmont House, Wexford Bridge and the Crimean Tower. So this is all rubble, okay? And we know that this rubble continues to form the robber trench that Claire Cotter found in the 1980s in Cutting 2 that we're re-excavating again now, but we'll come back to Cutting 2 in a second. So thus far, we have one nice wall along the northern side, and I'm coming around again, bear with me. And this comes across just in front of Tom to a corner, and you'll see again that the corner looks quite rubbly. That's not surprising. Frequently with the medieval structures you get the coin stones or the cornerstones are the largest, best dressed. They'd be the first stones to go, frequently robbed out because of the best stones available for use in other buildings. So the corner is largely gone, but last season we only had a few stones of this wall exposed, and the students again have extended out the cutting to its eastern extent. So we've stepped this back by well over a metre and a half, and now we have the full eastern wall coming down this site. What's interesting is that it narrows quite a bit. So we have it here at 90 centimetres wide odd, and then it comes straight in. We haven't really figured out why that happens. What is interesting about it, I guess, is that means quite a narrow wall for an external wall. So why is it so different to the other wall? We still have to investigate that and figure out why. You can see lots of rubble just underneath my feet, and then as we come back the rubble stops and we pick it up a bit again here, okay? And you can see the wall is starting to peter out. So these would probably be the last few stones of the wall here, and then some rubble on that side. Again, the wall seems to have been quarried out, as I mentioned on the north wall, but there is also a large area of modern disturbance coming through here. So we have plastic, we have gravel. We don't know if a bit of digging was done here in the 1980s and it's been backfilled, or if it's disturbance from something else. And it is in an unfortunate location because we have the east wall coming and meeting the south wall at this point here. Bad area to get a lot of disturbance, and we also have a large tree. So you can see that the size of the tree roots will have pushed out some of the stones from the walls here, but you can trace the southern wall then coming back across. So 1, 2, 3 walls. Unfortunately our corners are pretty much gone or obliterated, unsurprisingly. We still have to get the western extent, and we have in our method statement to the National Monuments section, we have included this year that we're going to open up Cutting 5. Alan, if you want to pan up roughly where the sandbags are stored on the hill there, we're going to open up Cutting 5 looking for the western extent, the western corner, the southwest corner of this structure. That's where we project it may be. It's an assumption, but we're going to go looking. When I say it's an assumption, it is also informed by the geophysics we did here in the summer. So it's not a blind assumption. We are seeing that there's a large geophysical signature in the middle across the whole cutting, and it ends roughly where the sandbags are, indicating that maybe there's an interface there between outside and inside. So that's where we're going to go looking for the last wall. The last thing we're doing in Cutting 1 at the minute is we have Tyler and Hallie here. Do you want to wave at the camera? Alan's behind you. They're investigating the internal deposits. So we're extending the sondage we put in to come right across the cutting. A sondage is a cutting within a cutting. It's like a small cutting opened up within a larger cutting. And they're investigating burnt deposits that we had in here. Underneath those burnt deposits, we suspect there's another medieval layer which could even date from the 12th century, maybe the habitation layer. So they're going to be at this for the next few days. We'll have a better handle then on what the internal deposits in Cutting 1 are doing. So far it's a story of walls and it's a story of habitation levels. That's effectively what we're looking at. But we'll go over to Cutting 2 now. We're only working on 2 cuttings this winter, 1 and 2. So we'll go over to Cutting 2 and see what we're progressing on over there. Okay, actually I'll hop in and probably make it a bit easier. So as you can see a large area that there's trowel work being done on the middle where all the loose soil looks like it is. That is the remaining barrow bulk. It was this high when we started from the 1980s dig. So where there were being barrows in and out to access the excavation. We've taken it out. It's allowed us to go through all the deposits from scratch, which is a great thing to be able to do because obviously we're revisiting a previous dig. Within that, we found more of the charcoal spread. Remember, that's the charcoal spread that we dated. We've talked about in previous updates, and it's come back in around the 1200 mark, the date we sort of wanted, 1200 AD. We found a lot more of that, and underneath it, we're actually starting to find new post holes. But one of the main reasons we wanted to take this out was it's full of midden deposits, so waste deposits, materials that have been thrown out in soil. So it means we're getting a lot of medieval pottery, we're getting a lot of animal bone, including some very small animal bone, and we're getting our first, well, we got our first piece of antler, and maybe we'll talk about that in another update or later on. We are sieving everything. So again, if you look behind you, you'll see 2 sieve teams, and that makes a big difference because frequently in archaeological excavations we miss a lot of the small mammal bone, rodent bone, fish bone. We're getting an awful lot of information back from that sieving exercise of what was eaten on site, what was consumed on site, and of course we're catching smaller artifacts which you might miss from visual retrieval as well. Other than that, we're working hard on trying to assess what's going on with the deposits in the cutting. So Tiana, who's down in the black hat, she's waving, she's putting another little sondage in to figure out exactly what's going through the habitation levels and what's happening with the natural subsoils, and we're doing the same here where Richard and Aisling are. So we're hoping that we'll get a fuller picture of exactly what's going on in the deposits here, and hopefully shut this cutting pretty soon. We expect this will be the first cutting to be entirely resolved and backfilled, and we hope that'll happen certainly by the summer. So that's an update on Cutting 2. Other than that, we've got a lot going on in Post-Ex, a lot of materials coming in. So I guess that's the full update from the field, but we might go into Post-Ex and talk again. Thanks folks, bye bye.